used in the practice. When you first start at the practice, you'll need to go on to Accurx to download the tool onto the system. Then you'll have to sign in and set up a new user account, which will then be approved by the practice. Once it's approved, then you get access to this toolbar down here. This toolbar can be used, can be moved anywhere within the clinical record. So you left click and hold on your mouse and you can then move it around. I'll put it in the middle just for this demonstration. Once you're signed in, you get access to this toolbar here, and we'll go through the functions. So the first one is message. So this is a text message from you to the patient, and there's lots of different functions that you can add within that messaging system. So we'll go through that in just a minute. The next one is the video link. This was used more in COVID, but it is a really useful tool, especially if you're on the telephone to the patient and you want to see them. And I'm going to show you how quick it is to set up that link, because it is really, really quick. The next one is the Accurmail. Accurmail is an email function within the system, but it is for professional to professional. You won't be emailing the patient. This is, say you want to email somebody in the hospital about the patient, it will save that email into the record directly. And also you'll then get notified if there's any response back. The next one is your directory. We have a set directory in the practice, but you might want to add somebody. You could do that, or you could create your own directory. And then the next one is your inbox. So this is where you're going to get notifications that you've got some pending responses to the messages you might have sent or emails. As you can see, mine's showing I've got 7. And then the very last one is just the menu button. So this has just got your user information and settings that you can change here. So I'm going to start by going into the message to show you some of the functions that you've got. When you click on it, you need to be in the patient's record, because then that will allocate the message to the patient. It will have this little tick to see if there's consent to send messages as well. And then you've got this function here. So you've got a search function, which will enable you to search for a template. That's a predetermined template. If you click on it, then you can see you've got 3 options: all templates, Florey questionnaires and pathways. The template is a text message template that's been set up in the practice. We have quite a lot of them, so it's worth having a good look through them. I will go through some of the ones that we use them more often. A Florey questionnaire is a link that's sent to the patient asking the patient a series of questions. For example, a PHQ-9, you might want to send the patient a link so they can complete the PHQ-9 and then send it back to you. And we'll go through some of the options in a minute. And then the next one is pathways. So these are preset pathways where you're going to be sending a message today, but also a future one. So if a patient's been in today for example, a B12 vaccine, it will put in the message a 2-stage message. The first one being today, you've had your B12 today, please make sure you book for 12 weeks. The second message is already preset to go out in 12 weeks time to say, as per your last message, please make sure that you book this appointment for your B12 because you're now due. So that's a pathway. You can find the templates just by searching. So the first one I'm going to show you is one that you'll use quite regularly in the practice, which is a failed encounter. This is for if you're calling the patient on the telephone to say for their appointment, but they don't pick up, you can send the first failed encounter contact message. And you'll see when you scroll down that we've got these in all the different languages. So when you go to it, you'll go first failed attempt, smooth out of the way, and you'll see it's saying, unfortunately, my first attempt contact was not answered. Please can you reply to this message to ensure I have a correct number on file. So you're asking there for the patient to reply to you. So you need to make sure that you're giving the patient the function to reply, which is down here, which is allow response. If you don't click that, the patient won't be able to respond to you. And then you can send the message. What you'll see once you go into the new journal is it automatically saves in the patient's record. But what it's also done is coded it. We've added a code onto that message. So it's saying failed encounter. When you then see the patient try the patient again, it may be that they've missed the second one, in which case you can go for the second failed encounter. This is basically saying that we've tried twice now and that was your final attempt. So if you still need to speak to a clinician, you need to call reception to rebook. So those ones are really good ones to use and will be used quite regularly in the practice. Some of the other ones that we have is depression safety netting. If you're coding the patient with new onset depression, or you've done a depression review and you want to safety net them, you can collect one of these. And as I said before, a lot of them we've got in all the different languages. So this one you would click in and you can see it's got all the different useful phone numbers, and also tells them to attend A&E, call us or call 111 in case of worsening symptoms. So again, you can send that. When you're sending any messages, you've got these functions down here. As I say, you need to decide whether you want the patient to reply or not reply. If you're asking them to, obviously they're going to need to reply. Other functions that you've got is add another message, which we'll talk about, the attached file, which we'll talk about, and booking link. I'm just going to show you a couple of other different messages that you might use. If you're not sure what you're searching for, you can just scroll down and it will give you some options. There's lots of them, so you can go and have a look to see what's in there. Ones that you might use quite regularly are things like Med3. You might be sending the patient a Med3 template, and then you're saying you're going to attach it to the text. So this is where the first function comes in. So you've got this little attach file. If you click on here, you've got an option to attach either from the desktop or from System 1, or you can add in a device. For Med3s, we're going to take it from the System 1, and you can see here it's really good. You've got an option to add in lots of commas and letters. So you could use this function for lots of different things. So this patient doesn't have Med3, so I'm just going to, oh, it does actually. So I'm going to accept that. And then that will, if I send it now, we'll send the patient the message with the Med3 statement. Let's have a look what else we've got. Let's go for face-to-face review. Okay, so this one is a pathway, but if it wasn't a pathway, you could set it up as a pathway yourself, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is saying to the patient that you want to see them in 4 weeks' time. So you can see the pathway already has the two messages. One is, we're following your appointment, I'd like to see you again in 4 weeks' time. But then we're setting a message to go in 4 weeks' time to say, following your appointment that we had on the 17th, I wanted to see you again in 4 weeks. If you haven't already had an appointment, make sure you've booked it. So that is already preset. But for example, if it wasn't there, if we just remove that message and you wanted to, you then could add in another message yourself. So if you're typing your own out message, so say you want to see the patient in 6 weeks' time, and you want to add that second message, you just click down here. And then here you then can put, as discussed at your appointment on the 17th of October, I would like to see something along those lines. And then down here you can schedule it. So you don't want that to go now, you want this to go in 6 weeks' time. So we're going to do a custom date and time. We're going to do 6 weeks, and then you're going to schedule that message. So they're going to get sent one today and one in 6 weeks' time. So that's really good. And then you can do send and schedule all. That is now set. Okay, so that's a really good, useful tool. I'm going to go back into message. You can see it's already down here. Some of the Florey questionnaires, again, you can scroll down. There's quite a lot of them. But things like PHQ-9, if you want the patient to do that, you could put that in there. That'll send this link and ask the patient to complete. You can send that, and then you get a response back when the patient has completed that questionnaire. Another good one is if a patient's booking by telephone, but we think we need the photos for this patient, the reception staff will send them out a message and ask them. But if you're with a patient on the telephone, you want them to send you a message, you could type in photo, request for photos, and then it will send a message to the patient. You obviously want to reply and then send it, and they'll then be able to respond back with some photos which can go into patient's record, and they're going to be there. As I say, these are done by reception in advance of, because we're the triaging it, but they will then put them in there and for you to review. Okay, that's the messages. Let me just show you pathways. Pathways, as I say, are predetermined, preset. So this might be that the patient's been to see the nurse, or we've done a HbA1c, we want to review it in 12 weeks' time. And as you can see, the messages are already set up as a pathway. So the first one saying, oh, this is a change of medication. I've changed medication, but I want you to do a blood test in 12 weeks' time to monitor your HbA1c again. So you send this, and then again, it will then send it in 12 weeks' time. So we can do that. So that's the pathways. So there's lots of messages, and it's good to have a look through them all. There's, as I said, there's absolutely loads of them. And just scroll down, there's lots of them. Okay, the only other one that I haven't said about is a booking link. So if you're seeing a patient and you want the patient to see physio, these are good ones that you can use yourself. So physio appointment, link to be added. So this is basically saying, I want you to come and see the physio. Then you can add a booking link here, and you can type in physio. That will send a booking link option to the patient for them to book their own appointment. So that's a really good one. So we're going to send that. I'm also thinking that I want the patient to have a blood test. So you can also do that as well. This is really good if you're talking to them on the phone. You can just send them out a quick link. So blood test. So please book an appointment or follow the link. So we're going to add the booking link for here, and we're going to type in blood test, and you can see here blood test only, add booking link, and send that. So now the patient can book their own blood test. These are really good and quite quick as well if you're consulting with the patient. So that's the messages. Take some time to have a look at it. Take some time to have a look at the presets, have a play with it, to have a look where you can attach in records, and you can attach in different things. It's really useful. I'm going to move on now to the video link. As I said, we haven't used this for some time. Some people will use it, some people not. But I want to show you how quick it is to use, and it's really useful if you are on the phone and want to see the patient. We're going to click on the video link. So here it will say, I'm ready to start consultation via video. Please enable video and audio. This is telling the patient to do that. Then it's going to asking you how you want to join the consultation. Now you'll be joining the consultation on the computer because everybody has their camera on their computer now. So you can send now. And then what's happening now is the patient has now got a link to join that consultation, but you also have a link here. So you can also join on the consultation also. So I'm going to join here, but I'm also off camera, got myself a message, and I'm also just quickly accepting the meeting, accepting the permissions, and as you can see, I'm already on camera, and that is how quick it is. I'm going to leave so we don't get feedback, but that's how quick it is. It's really, really useful and really quick. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So that's how quick it is. So again, you just click on the camera, send the patient the message you want to join on the computer, send now, and then you join, they join, and it's that quick. That's really, really useful. As I said, if you're with the patient on the telephone and you think, right, I want to see you, let's join up. I'm going to send you a link. I want you to join it. And it's really seconds to get them on the video. So that's the function of the camera. The next one then is the email, Accurx. So when you access this, you'll see here that you've got basically your own inbox, and it's already set to the patient as it is in messages, and you've got this option to compose a new message. You've got quick links, so you might be attaching a document for system 1. You might want to imaging, but we know we do it via WebV. So let's have a go. So we're going to compose a message. I'm going to send it to myself. And you can see here the first part of the message is already set for you, and it's reference patient details, so that's already in there for you. You can then type in whatever you want in there, the content of your referral. And then you've got options to add and create. Attach is really good if you, so you can do it from file or desktop, but if you need to attach maybe ECG reading or something like that, you can attach straight in from the documents. Let's do summary. And you can also create a patient summary as well. So this will create, and you can select what you want them to know about the patient. So it may be that you just want them to know about the medications. You could create that. And that'll just take a minute, and it'll create a patient summary to attach to the email. As you can see, the patient summary just takes a little bit of time because it's pulling obviously information from the patient's records into a summary attachment. So it takes a minute. Actually doesn't want to do this one, but it will do it. Minnie Mouse doesn't actually have any medications, likely why it won't pull together a summary of medications. And then once you've got that, then you can send now, and then that will then go into the patient's records as an email. Yeah. And that's really good for record keeping, so it's directly in the patient's record, and then you'll get notified down here when you've got a response. So that is the main functions of Accurx. So we've gone through messaging, have a play with that and send yourself some test messages. Have a go at the video. That's like I said, it's a really quick one. The Minnie Mouse is set. You can see there, that's actually my contact number. So you can have a play with that, and I can join your call, and then give me a heads up that you'll be sending it so I'm ready, and then you can test that. Your Accurmail, you can have a test of doing that also. The directory, as I said, is just a directory of lots of different people external. This is more for when we're sending out emails, so you've got presets in there. And then your inbox, as I said, then is for you to go in and manage. And as you get a response from the patient's record, it'll alert you to make sure you save that in the patient's record, so you can do that also. And that is a very quick tour of Accurx.